sure it could do anything. Newspapers, magazines, trade and agricultural publications aroused and stimulated public interest with articles paying high tribute to the military Jeep and speculating on its post-war uses. Here was a mandate to Willis Oberlin's brilliant engineers, builders of the Jeep, a challenge to harness the power, the ruggedness, and the unfailing dependability of the military Jeep for a broader and greater usefulness in the world of tomorrow. And with typical foresight and caution, they took nothing for granted. Could it do the work of a tractor? Could it serve as a truck, a passenger conveyance, and a mobile power unit? What did it need to meet the demands of industrial and community service? They knew where and how to find the answers, and that was their first step. With the cooperation of the Department of Agriculture, the War Food Administration, and the Army, a number of military Jeeps were allocated for testing. These were sent to leading agricultural colleges in various sections of the country. Practical farmers, expert in solving such problems, would answer the question of what the military Jeep could and could not do for the farmer. Rigorous tests of every description were conducted at Texas A&M, at Mississippi State College, at Rutgers University, at Minnesota University, at University of Maryland, at Washington State College, at Pennsylvania State College, at the University of Arizona. Cooperative farm groups in New York directed independent tests in other parts of the country. In the citrus fruit areas in Florida and California, practical tests brought out the special needs of this industry. Complete, detailed, factual reports from all these sources were studied and analyzed. Willis engineers quickly realized that to improve, modify, and adapt the military Jeep for peacetime occupations involved engineering problems of major importance. Preserving all the great qualities that made the military Jeep a spectacular war weapon, with these as a basis, their objective was to produce an even more versatile Jeep to serve practically and efficiently a multitude of farm and industrial uses. As this development evolved in the minds and on the drafting boards of the engineers and designers, the post-war Jeep began to take form, and it embodied many new features the military Jeep never had, features specifically engineered for peacetime uses. To make the power of the Jeep engine available to farm implements and industrial machinery that must be driven by belt or shaft, a power takeoff mechanism was engineered and built into the Jeep chassis. This equipment enables the Jeep to function as a stationary power plant or to pull a farm implement over its working area and at the same time furnish power to operate that implement. Field speeds of 3 to 5 miles an hour are a common farm requirement. And to make the power of the Jeep engine available for heavy pulling at such low speeds, it was necessary to increase the final drive ratio. However, this is brought into use only when the kind of work to be done requires it, so that the Jeep retains the ability to move swiftly on the open road. To cope with the sudden overloads sure to be encountered in farm and industrial work, the transmission was redesigned to increase its factor of safety. And because the Jeep's post-war jobs would surely involve heavy and long-sustained pulling under all conditions of road and grade, the transfer case, which channels the power of the engine to all four wheels, was re-engineered to ensure increased working capacity and long life. Easy maneuverability, a very important attribute for farm and industrial service, was provided by equipping the new Jeep with an improved type of steering gear. Hard starting under maximum load could be anticipated, putting unusual strains on the clutch. This unit was redesigned so that its useful life has improved by more than 50%. It could be foreseen that the Jeep engine would have to meet the tests of long hours of heavy pulling at slow vehicle speeds. And for this reason, improvements were made in the cooling system to ensure against overheating. To keep the engine at a predetermined speed when the belt pulley or spline shaft is in use, a variable speed governor was designed and installed. Otherwise, this great four-cylinder 60-horsepower engine, the strong, pulsing heart of the military Jeep, was more than adequate in power, flexibility, and rugged dependability for all the requirements of its peacetime job. These and scores of other refinements of design and construction went into the new Jeep. There were no compromises anywhere in this unhurried, conscientious plan to produce a vehicle perfectly suited to all manner of peacetime occupations that were never within the capacity of its military prototype. Moreover, all these improvements and refinements were part of an integrated plan to endow the Jeep with qualities certain to extend the useful life of the vehicle in its new capacity as a servant of agriculture and industry. When the new pilot models were ready, the testing agencies again took over, subjecting them to long hours of heavy pulling, teaming them with various implements, studying and analyzing every factor of performance. Their findings were a revelation to this impartial jury of practical, hard-headed farm experts. They had demonstrated that the new Jeep is the first successful four-purpose vehicle in automotive history. It is a light truck capable of carrying a substantial load and able to take that load quickly wherever it is needed without regard to road conditions or even lack of roads. It performs as a tractor, bringing to the farm the world-famous Jeep pulling power. It's a portable power plant, fully equipped to run farm implements or industrial machines to which power must be carried by belt or shaft. And it can take that power to the job over the roughest terrain. It's a passenger conveyance, not a limousine, of course, but a dependable carry-all that gives reasonable riding comfort over good roads and can go over bad roads and cross-country where no passenger automobile would dare to venture. There has never been any wheeled vehicle in history that offered the amazingly versatile performance of this new concept of power and mobility. The testing program has been in operation for more than a year and still continues, not only at colleges, but also on Willis experimental farms, established to permit company engineers to conduct tests of their own devising and under their own supervision. Out of this long and carefully planned program of research and testing have come conclusive proof that the potential uses of the Jeep on farms